What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the IzzyVerse. It's me, Izzy, and we have a loaded card for today. We have two shows going on, not one, but two shows going on, and we're going to be doing them both today. First one's going to happen right now, which is at 8 o'clock, and then in 1 hour from now, we're going to be doing our next one. So what are our two shows for today? Well, right now, if you're tuning in at this moment, you are watching the Stranger Things Season 4, Volume 1 spoiler review. I got Chris and Chaz waiting for me in the lobby here. We're going to be talking about what we loved about the last two episodes of Stranger Things. So that's what we're going to talk about in the next couple of minutes. If you want to tune in about an hour from now, I will be with Achilles, a good friend of mine, and we're going to be talking about Thor, Love and Thunder. And yes, this will be a spoiler review. We both watched the movie. I just saw the movie earlier today. I have a lot of things to talk about without spoiling anything away. And speaking of spoiler, for next week, we're going to be doing the Miss Marvel spoiler review. A lot of good stuff to talk about the show, a lot of stuff that I want to talk about, a lot of things I didn't know about Miss Marvel that we're going to look at in this show. And finally, if you notice, the new comic books in 5 minutes video came out this morning, I believe, and it's for the books that are coming out next week. Go check that video out. Notice with the cover here that the Mandalorian's going to have his debut in comics. Amazing that it's taking this long for it to happen. So go pick that one up. So, guys, now it's time to talk a little bit about Stranger Things. So, again, I'd like to welcome to the stage our good friends Chris and Chaz. What's going on, guys?
Hey, what's going on?
Got lots to talk about in a short amount of time, right? So, let's get it started. We're going to talk a little bit about Stranger Things. But, again, if you notice the comment here, if you leave a comment, you will be entered to win the Spawn 329 blank. It's not a black sketch. It's a blank sketch. I'll fix that in a momentarily. But it's a blank sketch comic. We did hit our 800 subscribers. We're at 834 last I checked, and hopefully we'll get to 850 and then 900 into that popular 1,000. I got a lot of good plans for those. So again, leave your comments in YouTube, and then you will be entered into that show. And I'll just leave that up for a minute. So let's talk a little bit about Stranger Things, and let's bring that up to the screen here. So with Stranger Things, man, what do you guys thought? Immediate reactions to the.
I loved it. I thought it was the best. These are the two best, if not of the whole entire series, I think.
Yeah, I think it really it came back for me because like I wasn't a huge fan of the last one, and then this one really I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I would have to say the same thing. With Stranger Things in particular, one thing I love is the immediate endings that it had, and this one, as we talked about right before, we felt like this ending wasn't. It wasn't, unfortunately, guys. Again, this is a spoiler review, guys, so this was not a happy ending. We get 2 episodes. And before we even move forward, before we even talk about, I just want to let everybody know that we are going full spoiler territory. So if you have not seen the last 2 episodes of season 4, please take the time right now. Go to Netflix. Take a while because you're talking about 2 long episodes here.
Yeah.
Right? We're not talking about 30-minute chunks. We're talking about the first episode being like an hour and a half, and the second episode is like 2 hours and a half. So there were some hardy episodes, to say the least. But let's go dive right into it. Let's go with episode number 9.
I think it's 8.
Is it 8? Is it? Was it? No, it's 8. It's 9. It's 9.
Okay.
No, you are right. It is episode 9. My apologies. Papa. I thought we were gonna hear some Madonna this time. Papa don't preach.
Yeah. We can't be too on the nose with this.
It can't be too on the nose with it. But we get the episode of Papa, and there's a lot of stuff going on with Papa. Obviously, we learn the identity of Vecna and who Vecna is. Spoiler alert again. Vecna is one, which is also Victor, right? The little boy, Victor Creel, and we
Well, actually,
learn
Victor Creel's is dead. Henry's his
Victor.
name.
Yes. Thank you for the correction. All right, it's been a long day, man, guys.
It's all good. I didn't watch it twice, so I kind of remember everything.
Yeah. Okay. So let's learn a little bit about what's going on. So that fateful day where they kill all the children, and 11 is the one responsible from turning him to Hector, right? Was it Hector you said? From Hector.
Henry.
From Henry. Why keep saying Hector? From Henry to Vecna. Let's talk a little bit about that. So let's do a little recap. So if you guys would be kind enough.
So let's see. We were led to believe that he was, I guess, one of the orderlies, I guess you could call him, or whatever. Originally in the place, and he was kind of helping. You thought he was coaching her along to try to get her out of there because he felt sympathy for her. Come to find out that he was actually the first subject bear, and he had ties to like the Creel family and the murders and everything. And the doctor had the chip in his neck, I guess, to suppress the psychic powers. And 11 felt a connection to him, so she removed it, which he went all like Dark Phoenix on us at that point and started killing everybody. Then they had their confrontation, and it was kind of stereotypical, I wanted you by my side, but now I must destroy you type thing.
Yeah, it was very much right, evil villain plan, right?
It was actually a lot too. If you really think about it, like the flashback in the last episode of the first half, Henry did a lot. He literally went from getting his powers back, murking everybody, getting banished to this bizarro dimension, and becoming like this omnipotent character within the time. I mean, this all happened like rapidly fast.
Yeah, they did do that. They did a little what happened when he arrived and how he handled it. But like you guys said, it was very rapidly. It was pretty quick, and at no time he becomes who we know as Vecna.
Right. So, and again, I'm forgetting names too. The doctor, Papa,
Brenner. Brenner. Dr. Brenner. Yeah.
So I guess since we're talking about spoilers, and this is kind of going to how the story went, I was a little I wasn't confused, but there was a lot of stuff that was like, okay, we're expected to believe a lot with this guy. So he survived. He miraculously survived a Demogorgon. We're past that part. He knew a lot about Henry's powers in the Upside Down. I'm trying to figure out how do you know all this stuff. He said, he doesn't only kill you, he consues you. Like, how do you know this?
There's a little bit of that. But then again, he's been studying them, so he knows. Yeah, he knows a little bit about them. That was the first reveal of the Upside Down, wasn't it? Though, at that moment beforehand, it was just special power kids. There wasn't no Upside Down. There was no Upside Down. There was no Demogorgons. There was none of that stuff. So this world, it's just been revealed to them.
Right. And the Duffer Brothers, they brought it back full circle because, again, when we saw the last time, I was trying to figure, wait a minute. So the Upside Down, wait. So I thought they had 11 trying to spy on the Russians, and I thought she just stumbled upon the Upside Down. But now we're led to believe that he always knew about the Upside Down. Mm-hmm. And then we found out, okay, so that's he was sending her in to try to find Henry.
Yeah, there was a little bit of that going on. I think that what was happening was just them working together to try to get to Henry, right? Get to Vecna, right? We see what happens on that day. And then now we're in present time in the 80s. We see them working together now. 11 and Brenda's relationship, even though it's like a father-daughter relationship, it's not a healthy father-daughter relationship. He's very much taking advantage of her and her powers, and the reality of it is now he's at the point that he's back to being this, I guess you could say, evil mad scientist doctor that he was in the original seasons, right? In the first
Right.
season, where he's not, he's not a good guy. You know what I mean? He may not be a full bad guy, but he's definitely not a good guy. And he ain't no anti-hero. He does have an agenda behind himself.
Yeah, he's pretty much. I mean, he's a scientist. He's going to extremes to understand and explore. These phenomenons. And that's it. I do believe, and especially in this episode, when he actually gets gunned down and he releases the device around her neck, I think that was their way of telling okay, he does care about her. That
as
was
much
it.
As he's capable.
Yeah, as much as he's capable of caring about her was that one act. But again, even that was it was a lot going on because because we knew he was going to turn, right? When him and the other guy got an argument about letting Eleven return back to Hawkins to save her friends, we knew, all right, Brenner's he's going to do some backhanded stuff, which he did. But he got his upcomings when the government caught up to him.
Yeah, Owens was like, I'm out, forget it, bye. You know what I mean? Well, I love Owens. Owens is the one out of the two scientists. He's the actual good guy. He actually cares. He's like, 11, go. If you want to go. Just go.
Right. And we don't know what happened to him either. So
yeah, I do believe we'll see him again.
We gotta see him.
We got to see him again, right? So we have this.
I'm back. Yeah, the actor.
Oh yeah, Paul Reiser. He's great, man. I can't wait to see him, and I'm looking forward to see him in season 5. So, and he has to. Season 5 is all out war, right? As we will mention.
That's end game.
It's the end game. It's the return of the Jedi. It's what else? What other movies have great finale? Well, Return of the King.
Return of the King. That's a good one.
All that good stuff. Clerks 3.
we will see.
Right.
I see that trailer.
Oh, that trailer is pretty good. It's a good meta trailer. All right. So while we're dealing with 11 and Brenda, we are also dealing with the gang. And the gang has come up with they have a plan to get Vecna. So we have Nancy. Nancy tells the group that Vecna revealed himself to her. He shared everything. Right. So, he monologued to her pretty much. And his whole purpose was to tell Nancy, I'm going for 11. So he has a gripe with 11 because 11's the only one that really can defeat him. They came up with this idea. They want to try this idea of trying to do it. They determined that Vecna needs, 4 gates to get in and really unleash hell on earth, pretty much, starting with Hawkins. So they came up with the idea of let Max be the one, and again, as we said, this is a spoiler review, guys. Max was the one, and he got really close, like really close. One more second, she would have been a goner, So let's talk a little bit about this plan, right? This plan that they have. So the gang has a plan, and the plan requires everybody to do their part, right? So we have Max. We have Max as well as Lucas and Lucas's sister Erica, and the 3 of them have been put in charge to go to the house, right? Mm-hmm. And what is the plan for them going into the house?
So the plan is they're gonna go there. She's gonna try to. She's gonna what's the word I want to use? Conjure up or just summon Vecna to.
She's bait. She's bait.
Yeah, she's bait. Because obviously she's the last one. Mm-hmm. So the plan is to get Vecna to attack her. Meanwhile, and this is a very elaborate plan, mind you, by the way. So you got that going on. They figured out that while Vecna is attacking her in her mind, that his physical body in the upside down is dormant up in the attic. So he's vulnerable. And Dustin figured that out. He said because she's very similar to 11. And what happens to 11 when she uses her powers to go into somebody's mind? She becomes very weak. So the plan is to get Vecna to attack Max's mind. and the other gang is going to go into Upside Down and destroy his physical body, thus stopping Vecna.
Yeah, so we have the threesome here. We have Max, Lucas, and Erica. They're going to be in Hawkins, going to the house. Meanwhile, we have the remaining group. We'll talk about Hopper in a second. We'll have the remaining group. We have 4 of the 5, which includes Dustin in the team. So Nancy, Steve, Robin, and Eddie, alongside Dustin, are all going to the Upside Down. Nancy, Robin, and Steve are going to go to the attic to try to get a vulnerable Vecna. Meanwhile, Dustin and Eddie, what's their plan? What are they doing?
To pull the bats away from the house so Steven and them can get in safely. So they're going to distract it with some metal guitar.
Yeah, we'll talk about the metal guitar in a second, because I have to say that was my favorite moment in the whole show.
Yeah,
like,
that was very well done. I'll give them that.
4 seasons, best moment ever in my view, because we get that shredding of Eddie Munson, and we get Masters of Puppets. So we had, like we talked about, we have a lot of Kate Bush love, and we continue with the Kate Bush love, but our metalheads get Masters of Puppets. Tell me how awesome. The minute he gets it and he starts shredding guitar. First of all, I didn't know Eddie played guitar like Metallica, and he was. It was also shocking that he was able to, unleash the rest of the band while he's in the Upside Down with doing.
I know. That's one of those. I think that's more for the audience than what's going on.
Yeah. Like, he summoned James Hetfield out of nowhere. We get some large drumming and all that good stuff, but no complaints here. I got no problem with that.
It was awesome.
The other time I heard Masters of Puppets in a live action picture. Do you guys know what's another movie that had Masters of Puppets?
I don't know the movie.
I know the movie.
What is that?
It is a comedy with Will Ferrell.
You should know, you're a Will Ferrell fan. I don't like his movies, so that's why I don't know.
I like Talladega Nights. So
Talladega Nights is a great movie. It's a great movie. Yeah. It's actually older than Talladega Nights. So in the movie Old School, it was in Old School.
Oh, okay, I watched Old School.
Yeah,
that's a great movie. It hasn't aged well. Let's just say that much. But there's a scene where their fraternity, and the concept of the movie is, in order to stay in the house that they're living, that the main character Luke Wilson is living, they have to say that they're part of the school in some way. So they create this fraternity, this really a bogus fraternity amongst middle-aged guys, but it also had some of the school students too. And they were doing recruiting. And while they were doing the recruiting, they had this van, and in the van they were recruiting all these people. So they were chasing people down. So in that chase scene, that's when they're playing Masters of Puppets. So that's the other time that Master of Puppets is being played. You got to check that out. It's a pretty funny scene. You have them. They put on like pantyhoses in their heads, and they go recruit this. They recruit this old guy named Blue. They're bringing him really softly because he was like he was with his other elderly friends, and they're just bringing him. Come on.
Oh, wow.
But then they also recruit this other guy, and Will Ferrell goes to his wife. If you tell anybody, I'll kill you. And he's like, don't worry, I'll be back by dinner. Do that. So that's a great scene. But here, again, a perfect use of Master of Puppets. I couldn't help myself, but I don't know about you guys, but as I was watching, I was doing this.
I was singing the song and everything.
I got into my Wayne's World moment. You know what I mean? So,
but what was one of my favorite things about that scene was, up until this point, and this is what a lot of these movies and shows do, 80s stuff. Everything's been so synth heavy when it comes to 80s stuff, which is cool. I like the synth music and everything, electronic stuff. But there's a whole nother side of the 80s music we don't really talk about. And the metal is one of them.
Yeah.
This scene did such a good job. The visuals, like the thundering and the red lightning and stuff, and the bass, it worked very well. It was, you know what I'm saying?
Right, the lightning, that's all
metal.
that was. Yeah, it was very metal. And Eddie Munson was the perfect character to embody that metal, right? Because when you see Eddie Munson, you think metal. He was dressed appropriate. It didn't feel over the top. He definitely fit the era perfectly. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Well, I want to add one more. What was really sad, besides the spoiler that he died in that, like he literally is the only human being existent to put on the most ultimate metal concert that nobody will ever see.
That nobody except for Dustin. Dustin was the only
Yeah,
one
except for
that's
Dustin, you know.
Dustin got to be like a little roadie in the corner, like just there, like. But yeah, it was the most metal. He was tired of running. That was the theme. Stop running, go into it. He became a hero at that moment, and it was foreshadowed at the beginning of the episode when they were saying we're no heroes. They were referring to Steve as the hero, and they were saying that we're no heroes. And in fact, if it wasn't for Eddie, they wouldn't have been able to do at least accomplish what they needed to accomplish at that moment. So kudos to Eddie. Rest in peace. We'll miss you because I really wanted to see more of Eddie.
Yeah, I really hated the kill. I wish they had I know it was for story. I said, dang, he's the one. I wish they could have kept around a little longer.
So. Yeah, but I don't know, man. It was one of those situations, man, where you're like, oh man, we lose Eddie.
Yeah, he won't get out of that.
But we get another story. Remember the Russia story? We're still going with Russia with love. So we find out that the Russians are housing a whole lot of Demogorgons. Not just a little bit, a whole lot of them.
And I got an issue with that.
Is it the fact that it looks like an alien?
No, it's not. It's not that. Wouldn't Vecna known about that? Because his whole plan was creating holes in the upside down. He said only 11 he knew of did it, but the Russians been doing it. So I'm not.
And it's a hive mind.
Yeah, it's a hive mind. So I'm not sure why he didn't register that one.
Well, he wasn't really interested in what was going on in Russia. In all fairness, his interest was all about what's going on in Hawkins, and more importantly, his real interest was 11. So that was his target. 11 was his target. So how of course he wants to get to the real world, right? He wants to get to the real world so he could do whatever he wants to do with it, right? Take control of it and take everyone and pretty much kill everybody, because that's kind of what he is, right? He's a masochist in that way. So he wants to destroy people. But again, this was one of those stories that I got it. It was good laughs. It took me away for a little bit from what was going on in Hawkins. But again, it was like, even here, I was like, did I really need it? I don't think I needed it. It didn't do anything for me. Like, it was fun. The characters.
I think it brought Hopper and
But the thing about it is, it's like they had to do something with Hopper, right? You had to get him away from Hawkins. You had to get Winona Ryder away from Hopkins. Joyce. Yeah, Joyce. You had to get him away, right, and to do something with him. So plus they had to tie the end from the last season where he got banished. Mm-hmm. So that's how I looked at it. You just had to keep him away, but do something with him.
Yeah, and the thing with that in particular is like, they had to bring Hopper back. They didn't need to kill him or pretend like he was dead to let us know that he was in prison in Russia. They could have just got him back, because again, how did he get there in the first place? He got there through the upside down. He didn't get there by way of plane, so they had to fly back in. So there was so much stuff going on in that particular story. To me, it didn't make sense. If anything, that's the one thing that I wish they didn't do.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It seemed like, I was thinking, okay, he's going to get a portal and go back through there, back to Hawkins. I didn't know that they had to kind of fly over to Russia to go get, I was like, wow, that's a pretty wild plan there.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. It just didn't work. It didn't move the pace. It didn't move the scale. It was just stuff for them to get together. It was a way for Hopper and Joyce to get romantically together again. We had some good character scenes with, Murr being a comedian alongside, what's his name? Argyle. I think it was Argyle.
Yeah, something like that.
Enzo. Yuri, of course, Yuri.
Yeah, Yuri, yeah.
I didn't need it. Unfortunately, I love the characters. I think each one of them were great actors, but I didn't need it. And I think we could have done so much more elsewhere. Like, you could have shaved off that whole that whole arc, that little story, mini arc, and the show would have been fine without it.
That could have been like a little mini spinoff. They could have done that in between the break of the overshoot show or something.
Yeah, they could have been like, "Hey, this is what's happening over here," but it didn't need to. It didn't extend the story. It didn't add to the story. They were there to kind of like help save 11, so they knew something was up, but they didn't know what was up. So I thought that was also weird. It's like, how they know something's up over there in Hawkins?
That's the one thing all VCs have done. They're I don't know if it's like a running joke or what, but it's always all these different like missions going on, but they all work together. And they this is like the third time Hopper's not been with the kids, but he's still helping them in a way.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we also get in this particular episode, he wasn't the only person that died. Eddie Munson wasn't the only person that died, but we get the death of Brenner.
Again.
And, again.
He's dead this time.
Is he really dead? But is he really? He could have had a jacket on.
Yeah, but they got his character's getting. I don't know. He's getting a little boring now. It's like aside from it's the same thing with him. So he was brought back just to be, literally his main purpose in this season was to help 11 get her powers back, and he did his purpose. So
yeah, he did fulfill the task that was put upon him for the season, but as we talked about earlier, he was also responsible for vecna. He has some claim to that, how he treated him, and then he's asking for forgiveness through 11. And what I thought was very interesting is that she didn't forgive him. She's like, nope, I'm not forgiving you. Like, and you know what? For all that he's done, they could have gone the cheesy way and say, yeah, I'll forgive you. They could have done it. But the fact that they did it was like, nah, you don't deserve it, kind of thing. And he just died unforgiven.
I don't think she believed him. I didn't believe him. I don't think he was telling the truth.
Because kind of when she was reintroduced to him in this season, remember, like, she kind of forgave him a little bit because there was that hand holding scene that they did, and then he backtracked again. So like,
well, he never. Have you noticed? He really never treated her as a human. He always treated her like
another test subject.
Yeah.
So there was always that disconnect.
She was always a lab rat to him.
Right.
All right. So so we do that. Now we're gonna go into the second episode of this season.
The piggyback.
Well, not the piggyback, right? Let's talk a little bit about the piggyback. So let me go read a little bit about what we got for the piggyback, right? So the group enacts their plan. Max, Lucas, Erica go to the Creole house. Steve, Nancy, and Robin go to the upside down counterpart to attack Vecna, and Dustin and Eddie divert the bats. Eddie sacrifices himself, which we talked about, to keep the bats away. 11, Mike, Will, Jonathan, Argyle, which is a hilarious. I loved him. He ended up being a really fun character.
Yeah, he grew on me.
Right. He created isolation tech. So let's talk about this isolation tech, right? So 11 and Brenda have been separated, and now 11 here is back with Will. She's back with Will and the rest of the gang. And we got Jonathan Byers, and we got everybody else back. The gang is back together. And what we see here in this episode now is the fact that they have to find a way to get her into in chilled water, right? So they have to get to an isolation tank. And the best thing is Argyle's like, well, I got a place we got to go. And that scene when they go to the pizza shop, my mind was like, what are they doing? It didn't come into my head what Hagar was thinking, but the fact that everybody in this pizza shop is a stoner.
That was funny.
and it was Jonathan was like, yo, look what I got, man. He was just straight up telling him, I got this, look how good this is. And he kind of takes it and goes. And no one goes back. No one checks in on them.
Like, just do whatever. I mean, that was a very 80s, like Cheech and Chong type thing. I don't.
Yeah. So they go in, they create this isolation tank, and the reason why they do it is because they are aware of the plan that they have in regards to the other team with Max. So Max is going out, and she's gonna be bait, but 11 wants to stop her. 11, in other words, 11 wants to get to Max's mind, and she becomes successful. So we have this nice little um, this meet up between 11 and Vecna in this episode, which is fantastic. The way they just look at each other, and it's just like a showdown, and it really is a showdown of them fighting and showing how it is. But with all that being said, Vecna knew there was a plan. He knew the plan. So what do you guys thought about that?
See, again, I'm not sure how to take it, because he showed Nancy everything he was gonna do, but the images she was seeing is what we actually saw at the end of the show. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if this guy can like see the future or what's going on, but he was very confident that no matter what they did, he was gonna win.
Well, that time stood still. We identified that time stood still in the Upside Down. It's just it's not moving. Right. So we get that, and we get this battle. We get everything that's going on. Everybody gets back together. Everybody is fighting. Unfortunately, not everybody comes out on the winning side.
No.
So we get to this point that Vecna has them all. He has them. He has Steve. He has Robin. He has Nancy. Yeah. He has them all trapped, and Max is trapped. Lucas is fighting. Let's not even talk about Lucas is fighting the jocks, right? Because that one scene when they get the weapons, we didn't even mention the scene. Who goes to a weapon shop with kids and buys stuff?
I like how everybody was there for some reason.
Yeah.
It reminds me of an episode of True Blood,
yeah,
where everybody
at the weapon shop, like, huh? Really?
They're shopping like nothing. Like, yeah, we don't need no identifications. We can buy whatever we want.
Like Walmart, like what the heck?
Yeah, it's totally weird. I'm from New York. We don't do that kind of stuff in New York. I don't know about you guys in Virginia, but I don't think it's like that over there either, right?
But even the girl that Robin, like, she was there, like, huh? Like, what is she doing here? Like,
so they're all yeah.
I think they were saying it was like the mass hysteria of the town.
Yeah, I guess so, but it was a little out there. Yeah. That scene was a little silly. It was a little silly, but it's cool. I guess because I was like, who's paying for stuff? But Chaz, you said that they just stole it, right? They ran through the back door.
They went through the back door.
I guess it is this.
Again, another thing that was like, you didn't really think this one through. You know what I mean? They could have gotten like an adult involved in some way, but apparently you don't need an adult to get all these weapons. Look at this girl, Erica, man. You gotta give Erica something. It's.
I know what was funny because Eddie said the whole reason they went there. He said because it's so far from Hawkins, they ain't gonna worry about nobody seeing them. But everybody was there.
They were all there.
So I was like, okay.
We got this great fight scene between Lucas and the jock. I don't remember the jock's name.
I can't remember his name either.
I want to say it is Ted Wheeler, but I'm not sure if that was him. We get that epic fight, and this guy is like, he is a mess. He's like,
he looked like Apollo Creed there for a minute.
Dude, he was like, he's like, she's possessed by the devil. Release her. He's like, I can't.
That was a tense scene, because again, like there was so much going on.
You knew something bad was gonna happen because he broke the Walkman.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that step on the Walkman. Oh, that's we said, that's it. I guess you got to sing to her, Lucas, or something. But
here's the other thing here's one more thing. Did that Walkman? Did they ever have to change the batteries on that Walkman?
Apparently not.
That must have happened in between scenes because man, they always had that thing on. It was always on for her.
Yeah, she literally always played it. Yeah, and I used to have a Walkman. The battery life wasn't that great.
I have a huge component of the Walkman. I had plenty of Walkmans. I was always I was the one guy always with a Walkman, always listening to something. And I can tell you this much: when the battery goes bad, or the battery starts dying, it's the Walkman doesn't stop. It just goes slower.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
You listen to the music. There should have been a great scene where she's listening to Kate Bush and it just starts going.
That would kind of cool.
That would have been funny. And they're like, "Can't change the batteries. Change the batteries now."
I don't think we can play Kate Bush in season 5. I think we've heard enough Kate Bush.
I think Kate Bush has got her royalties check in play, so I think we're good there.
Because if we could fast forward just to the ending when they did the whole montage and they played it again, I wonder if that was originally the song they were going to use, or they went back and recut it because they saw how big that song came back.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it could have been anything. I don't know, but apparently that was her song. So
she's making bank.
She's making bank. All right, guys. So we go back. It's now they have the fight. 11. It appears that Max is dead, but 11 uses her powers to resurrect Max. Unfortunately, she couldn't completely save her. So she did save her. So she ends up being alive. But spoiler, guys, she's been comatose and her body is broken.
Yep.
Which is crazy to see that her arms, her legs, her eyes. So I'm just curious to see what the next season holds because, again, vecna was successful. Hawkins was broken open. So
I hope it, I'm going to say, I was telling Chad, I really hope it doesn't involve time travel. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I got in Batman. I hope there's no time travel stuff. I don't want to see that again.
No Back to the Future stuff since we're going 80s.
If you notice, when the crack, when the 4 doors connect in the middle of Hawkins, it's at the clock tower.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure.
There's your Back to the Future reference right there, right?
Yeah. So something's going to go down that clock tower. We know that. And
Will is sensing it. So 11 may be the one with powers, but Will is still. He still feels it. He still senses it. So there's all that stuff. Hey guys, so we got Josh and Arlo. Arlo, what's going on, guys?
What's going on?
Welcome to the show, guys. All right.
We still got the girl from our season 2, the other gifted one we haven't seen. Mm-hmm. She's still out there. So I'm assuming she's coming back.
Oh, that whole gang is pretty much still out there.
Yeah, they're coming back. They're coming back in season 5. I'm telling you, it's gonna be
all out war, right?
Everybody's coming back. Yeah,
it's gonna be all out war. Max has been comatose. She's gonna come back. Will shows the poster,
which was very beautiful. That was a good scene. That was a good. I felt that was probably the best way to explain to him how he felt about Mike without actually telling Mike how he felt about him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's the way I looked at it.
I definitely agree with that. So we end the season. The town of Hawkins experienced an earthquake, which opens the portal into the Upside Down. The whole city, the whole town is leaving. Everybody's out.
Right. Yeah.
They're all in their cars. They're gone. So my question for you guys is, what do you think we're going to see in season 5, which will be the final season?
Well, the last part, the thing that I noticed is like when they've walked out of the woods to the part where the Upside Down is coming up. Out, I'm going to call it the scar, like, because in World of Warcraft, it looks like the scar and the blood off.
Yeah.
Like
I call it the snow particles. That's what it looks like to me.
So there's like the grassy side and then the snow side, and then the only one standing on the snow side of that scene is 11. So I don't know if that means that she's going to have to, like, I don't know, go like eventually like exchange.
I'm wondering if Hawkins is gonna be cut off from the rest of the world. Like it's gonna be like, is he gonna just engulf that entire town and like they're just kind of stuck in it and we're just gonna see what happens, It's gonna be like a kind of like a Walking Dead situation where everybody's just on the run.
Well, there's also discussions on the spin-off series, so I don't want one, but if they because again, like Walking Dead, there's also much you could take out of it, right? To the point
depends what they do with it and what it is depends, man. If they're gonna spend, I don't think it should tie to this. It's got to be something else somewhere else going on, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm excited for it. Let's go ahead and talk about how we rate the show. So in a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best that you've seen, What do you guys rate it? I'll start with you, Chris.
So for the entirety of season four,
yeah, the entirety of season 4 as a whole.
4.5.
4.5. That's pretty good odds, man. What's the reason why you didn't give it a 5?
Kind of like you. I think some of the stuff, like the Hopper stuff, was a little kind of shoehorned in, and some of it was a little predictable. There are certain things that, okay, they're gonna do this, but that's with any show. But I don't think I've ever given a show a 5. I don't think anything's perfect, but I mean, I think 4.5 is pretty dang close. So
yeah. What about you, Chess?
Just there were a lot of things, like you said, like that were predictable, and then also, because some things I felt like were just thrown in there, like we're just supposed to accept that this happened, like the whole reasoning behind Papa knowing everything
the
about
loopholes
Henry
and the plot,
and stuff like that. I'm gonna say 3.5.
3.5. All right, good scores. All right, guys, it's my turn, right? Just like you, Chris, I throughout the entire season, I was saying to myself, this Hopper story doesn't mean anything. It means something to bring Hopper and Joyce together. That's all it was. It was the device to bring them together. That's it.
Right, yeah.
It didn't need to happen in Russia. The money, how did they get the money? The story in itself was fun. Don't get me wrong. I think it was a good story. I didn't have a problem with the story, but it didn't move the needle in any way. It didn't cause anything. It was there. And it was like, oh, this is what the Russians are doing with Demogorgons. That's it. I don't care what the Russians are doing to Demogorgons, to be quite honest. If the Russians got killed by the Demogorgons, let them be. That's what happens for messing around with Demogorgons, right? So with that being said, I think everything else, and the fact that they didn't give us a happy ending. Don't get me wrong, I love happy endings, but I want a reason to come back. Right? So the cliffhanger, right?
That was a good cliffhanger.
The cliffhanger was the best type of cliffhanger you can come up with. So with that being said, I don't do the points, the 0.5s and things like that. So I just give it a 4 out of 5 Izzy's. That's what I think of it. What about you guys that are watching right now? What would you give the show? Again, we got a few minutes before we go to our next show here. But for you guys that are watching right now, why don't you let us know in the comments what you give this show? I think this show overall was a fantastic show. I had a blast watching it. I know you guys had it based on your scores. You had a great time. Can't wait for season 5. And Chris and Chaz, where can we find you?
You can find us on Instagram, /_delirium_LLC. We have a new website up, rabbitsbadasssong.com.
Awesome.
And on all those 2 sites, you can find all our other social media.
All right, guys. Let me put you back in the waiting room for a second while we close out here. All right. Oh, Achilles gives it a 4. Look at that. Achilles gives it a 4. And speaking of Achilles, since I got Achilles watching right now, Achilles will be joining me right now in the next 20 minutes, 15 minutes. We're going to be doing our Thor, Love, and Thunder. We're going to be talking a little bit about Thor, Love, and Thunder. Today, it's going to be great. I can't wait to talk to you guys about Thor, Love, and Thunder. So with that said, I'm going to end this video out right now. And I will see you guys again at 9 o'clock. Again, same Izzy channel. All right. We'll see you later. Bye, guys.